Do you know how do we come to the conclusion that the universe is expanding? Well, if you don't, you'll find it out by the end of this video. In this video, I'm going to explain the Doppler effect in light and tell you how we come to the conclusion that the entire universe is ever expanding. In my last video, I explained the Doppler effect in sound. Similar to sound, even light exhibits the Doppler effect. Well, the Doppler effect in light is symmetric. Now, what I mean by symmetric is, in sound, if the observer moves at a velocity of v towards the source, there is an entirely different value to the change of frequency than if the source would have moved towards the observer with the same velocity v. Therefore, both of these had to be considered separately in the given equation of change in frequency, and relative motion could not have been used. But this is not the case when we consider light. When the source moves towards the observer or the observer moves towards the source, the change is constant. So you can consider the relative motion. This is what I exactly meant by the symmetric behavior of Doppler effect in light. In light, Doppler effect is of two types, one with redshift and the other with blue shift. Now, redshift and blue shift is simply used to understand whether the observer and the source are moving towards each other or they are moving away from each other. For the redshift, the source and the observer are moving away from each other, whereas for the blue shift, the source and the observer are moving towards each other. We determine the redshift or the blue shift by spectroscopy. The formula over here is for the change in wavelength and frequency due to the Doppler effect in light. Now comes the part with the conclusion. Now comes the part with the entire universe expanding thing, and using this knowledge of Doppler effect of light, I am going to conclude that the universe is expanding right now. Consider the oval in front of you to be the entire universe. I have drawn two circles in there. If the universe expands, then the 2 points would eventually move further away from each other and they would experience a redshift amongst each other. If the universe is still, they won't observe any redshift or blue shift amongst each other, but if the universe shrinks, they would observe a blue shift amongst each other. Now here's the crazy part. Most of all the heavenly bodies that we know of have a redshift amongst each other. And I'm not talking about just a point in the space. I'm talking about all the heavenly bodies in all the directions, in all the possible directions. Most of them have a redshift amongst each other. And this is what brings us to the conclusion that the entire universe is expanding. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.